All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises, all blessings to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaQuadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, pushing this word in all truth and in sincerity, risking life and livelihood in so doing. All right, especially in these days and times. All right, and shalom to the women and children watching and learning from these lessons. All right. Now I just totally can't find the mic. I didn't lost the mic. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna have a serious all right, serious look at the state, all right, of at the state of our people. Okay. I'm gonna go off of this topic. So I seen some things floating around on this topic, and you know, you have to be careful. You know, a lot of these things are just, you know, talking points, but really you know, a lot of this stuff is actually coming to reality because you know, these entertainers and, you know, people who have been set up in position have, you know, made these situations to occur. All right. And the topic here is Trick Daddy. All right. Says women need to lower their standards. Okay. Women need to lower their standards. And, you know, he's absolutely right. Okay. Women, they do. And as far as men, okay, you know, you men really need to raise your standards, all right? And that's really the problem. You see, let me get a scripture, all right? Let me start off with a scripture, because I don't have anything prepared for this lesson, as always. So I'm going right off the, you know, I just, you know, go right off the whim, all right? Right in the spirit. Man, this thing's taking a long time to load up. Okay. So I got this open. And so I was saying that you know, men need to raise their standard. All right, and let me see if I can find it. Scripture. Let me get it real quick. Load up. Oh man. Okay, let me see. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 56. All right. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you. Okay. Which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. So, this is a curse. This is not, this is speaking, all right, of a curse. Okay? This is not a blessing. So, you're going to have women who are fucking lazy, all right? Here it is. We are, if, anybody with, any damn common sense in their damn head, man. And I've seen Corey Holcomb, Tommy Sotomayor, you saw Kevin Samuels. All right. You have a lot of men who are totally, absolutely fed up and will not bite their damn tongue for these women, man. All right. But on the same token and on the same hand, you have men who know that these women are bad, who know that these women are disgusting, and they're not saying anything so that they could get some box, so that they could appear likable and pleasing to the woman. So just know that when you go against this woman, all right, they're gonna come against you harder than ever. Okay. They're going against Corey Holcomb. I think Tommy Sotomayor. I think he, you have to pay to, see his content. All right. They may have taken out Kevin Samuels. Okay, they may have taken him out. They hated him so bad. All right. But even though these men, all right, hey, when you go against the so-called black woman, all right, you're going up against the mob. She is the leading killer. Okay. Second to none, all right, of the Israelite man, all right. Esau, he does his damage, but she, she is the real, all right, killer of Jake. All of the trouble and beef, all right, that you see is because of her. Okay. It's because of her, and uh, the lack of a male. Cause Jake like to fucking baby their daughters, man. Okay, which which gets a lot of them fucked up, man. I've actually seen uh dudes whoop a girl's father's ass, man. Okay, and that's because he didn't tell her right, man. I growing up, I saw that a lot. Okay, I saw that a lot. That dudes would beat a girl's father ass, man. Okay, once and see, once that man starts getting that box from that woman, man, that's his woman, no matter. So that's why you're supposed to look over, your daughters. You're supposed to watch over your daughters, man. Nigga, every death is the result of the so-called black woman, man. Okay? Every single death that you're seeing in the streets, that you're hearing about, these little monsters, gremlins going out stealing cars, it's because they have been raised by that black woman, or trying to win the attention of that black woman, but mostly because they've been raised up by that black woman. Okay, one story that I like to share is well, I haven't really told this story, but I don't want to put anybody's name or any details out, so I'll just say it like this. There was a guy that was dating this girl, all right, and he beat the girl ass one day, beat her up, okay, and so the girl, okay, she went and told her brothers, like, hey man, told two of her brothers, like, she had like 5 brothers. She went and told 2 of them that that the guy had beat her up, okay, which he did, because she was trying to beat up his new girlfriend, all right, and so he got the box or whatever, and he moved on. Okay, he moved on. So, this girl went and told her brothers, all right? And so, just, being her brothers, they were, here in Chicago, these guys were, that's, what that means when you go and tell your brothers, right? And so, these 2 brothers, man, them and some of their guys, they ended up catching this guy, all right, and they unalived this guy, all right. They unalived him, all right. And do you know that the sister went to the police and told the police that her brothers had unalived her boyfriend? Okay, and I'm not making it up, and that's happened actually more times than you can imagine here in Chicago. Okay, your auntie, okay, yeah, that's auntie, man, and her boyfriend, he ain't acting right, he ain't coming home, he out with the other woman or whatever. Okay, so the auntie, she's gonna go to the nephew, Okay, oh nephew, he did me wrong. He did this. You can't do my auntie like that. And so the nephew, he goes and he, unalives the auntie's, a boyfriend. Now, the auntie maybe she don't, the auntie maybe don't tell on the nephew, okay? But it's the fact that the nephew has, given up his innocence, okay? He's given up his innocence for that, and then how it goes with with the queen bee killer, all right. My mama, all right. What Jake won't do for his mama, right? Even though she has, steered him wrong greatly, all right. And so, a lot of people are holding their tongue, and a lot of Jake, man, they're just desperate to get anything, man. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about that, man. A woman gonna do, them niggas have no backbones, all right. Hey, Jake is coming and having these discussions and telling you about yourself. Because the truth of the matter is we don't fucking need you fucking women, man. Okay? Again, we ultimately have lowered our standards, okay? The so-called black man could go anywhere on the planet, rich or poor, okay? Rich or poor, he could go penniless, okay? Just get a flight, fly somewhere, and he's going to go there and he will be able to get a woman. Anyway, even in a country like, where they fucking hate a nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get a woman, and that woman is going to, take care of that Jake, really. She's going to take care of her man, all right? When we were brought here on the slave ships, all right, now we both were brought, men and women, but it was the man who suffered the most, and who took the blunt of the of the atrocities upon himself, rather than to see the woman, okay, this tender and delicate woman, okay. Because she talks big shit. But she don't talk, she don't walk the walk, all right? She talk the talk, but she don't walk the walk. You know what? That's from a movie, forgot the name of that movie. Okay? She talk the talk, but she don't walk the walk. All right? And they don't want to, in the so-called black, listen, no one, we're not trying to, demean you, put you down. You have to really look at yourself, and that's what, as bad and as you think that we treat you, we understand, okay? We understand how far to take it, and we understand that you have absolutely no damn sense, man. Okay? You have absolutely no sense. That's why when I used to grow up, Jake used to beat the shit out of women, man. I seen a Jake, and his girlfriend was talking to another nigga, and we were walking. Scared. This nigga scared me. Honestly, he was talking. This dude, his girl was talking to another nigga, and me and Jake, we walking up the street. We drinking a beer, we drinking some 40s. Got 40s and shit. He had 240s. Okay, he was drinking one. He had another one in the bag, and he seen his girl talking to this dude. Man, do you know he smacked her upside the head with that fucking 40? Okay, cracked her upside the fucking head. I will never forget that, man. And the bottle bust over her head, and this woman shook it off. Okay, she shook it off like, okay, nigga, you know. But you know, she understood and she went home. Okay. But I used to see Jake just demolish women. All right. And those women were in order, man. Hey, because you know. And I used to look at Jake with hatred, like, hey, nigga, why you doing that? Why you doing it as a female? You know, that was me, man. Okay. That was me. All right. But, you know, they have turned on Trick Daddy. They've turned on Tommy Sotomayor. They've turned on Kevin Samuels. They've turned on Corey Holcomb. You know, anyone who calls them out on their bullshit, they've totally turned on people who are saying things for their protection. Okay? Because men in this, you have to understand, men have been in the streets, and you see the result of a woman that no one wants. She's walking around, she looks crazy, you know. And women think, you know, so what a woman's insurance is, her insurance policy is, she's going to raise her sons up to be supportive of the bullshit. You see? She's now trying to raise up sons to be supportive of her bullshit, and it's failing. And now you have a lot of these young men who are moles, are what was the word? Not patsies, pansies. All right, pansies. All right. Let me look up this word real quick. Let's see. Load up.
Here's the definition of pansy: a popular cultivated viola with flowers in rich colors, with both summer and winter flowering varieties.
Okay. Okay, now here it is. In slang, the word pansy is a derogatory term used to describe a man or boy who is considered effeminate, weak, or cowardly. All right? So you don't have to say Momo, all right? You can just call him a pansy, all right? It is considered highly offensive, and is often used to refer to happy men in a contemptuous way. Here's a breakdown of the slang meaning of pansy, and that's what these women are creating, and that's who they're dating. All right, you know, the man who doesn't see nothing wrong with the way that they're behaving, but those are the men that they're dating, and those men are, often pansies, okay? And you don't have to be sticking it or being stuck by another man to be a pansy, okay? But ultimately, you Jakes are, man. A lot of you Jakes, man, you sleep behind other men, man. And that's neck and neck with being a homo, man. Sleeping, behind another man. I mean, some of you, you do it right behind another man. Now, when you are a teenager and, young man, and, you're learning, okay? You may be learning, all right, certain things. But once you've learned that, okay, you're supposed to correct. You're supposed to, now you're supposed to correct that error, okay? Because you are in error. You don't keep moving. Your genetics supposed to kick in, okay? Your manliness, it kicks in, all right? Now, I've never, backdoored, one of my homies, slept around, on one of my homies, with one of their girls. But, did we, run trains on females? Yeah, man. We never, never were in the same room, okay? One guy go in the room, but that was a process of learning, all right? That was a process of learning, and we were children, all right? But, as an adult now, now you're exchanging, body fluids, okay? Now body fluids are being exchanged, all right? You may paint a chick face. Jake is, grimy. You paint a chick face, he didn't squirt it all on her, all right? And that's what Jake do. He pulls out. He's not trying to get this, chick pregnant. He's gonna, and women like that, okay? And so he, squirts some, seed on the woman, all right? But here you come now. You're kissing and licking right behind that. What do you think that makes you? That's not manly. Oh man, but see, you got Jakes, you got Jakes from different regions of the world, man, north, east, south, and west, man, and some Jake in certain areas, okay, they behave in a much different way, okay, and that's from that Hamite blood. That's in, we mixed in with Ham in Western Africa. So, a lot of our people still have that Hamite, some of that Hamite in them, okay? With that, with weirdness, man. It's really weird. And then you have the individuals like the rapper Drake, okay? Who condone that kind of conduct from women. A lot of Jake condone that conduct just so that they are able to get the box. Now they don't, now they could be the biggest momos in the world because you have a woman on your team. That's a possession. Women are going to get money, so the more women attached to you, common sense would tell you that that's money. She's going to always be supportive of you, okay? But when you running through women, now there's an error inside of you, okay? That's an error inside of you, okay? You're supposed to, now if the woman is she's a run through, and she's been ran through, and but if she genuinely clings to you, like, oh, but then, hey, that's added on to you. That's actually a treasure, But some men would be like, oh no, she done been ran through. Okay, so they'd pass her off. Okay. Now what I would do, a lot of times is go to the doctor. Take a female to the doctor, make sure she don't have nothing. And that's guaranteeing that you don't have nothing, because you don't want to be out here passing nothing around. But most of these women, they don't care, man, and they have the sentiment, which is a woman's sentiment, that if I got it, I'm gonna give it to somebody else. Okay, and that's their sentiment when they pick men. All right, a lot of these women, their boyfriends, they know that their boyfriends are out here killing people, and that's their boyfriend. All right. Now, this nigga, he's never gonna marry them. Okay. But then this same woman who's had a boyfriend that is an absolute murdering ass nigga, he's killing people, gang banging. Okay. Not helping his people or community, okay, with anything in any positive direction, because she wouldn't want to be with him then. All right, she wants him because he is negative. He is a negative. Okay, but here this woman, okay, after her boyfriend goes to jail or is put to death, she's gonna open her lips and say, ain't no good men out here. You men are the men out here are feminine, or after that's the type of men that she's been dating. And then they want you, okay, they want you to settle down with them after they've been ran through. And I'm telling you, brothers, I'm going to tell you honestly. I tell it to my own brothers, all right? Blood brothers. But in this truth, we are all brothers, all right? This is a brotherhood, man, all right? The so-called black man is the number one prize across the planet, all right? Across the planet. Is nowhere that you could go where women are not going to want to be with you and get with you, all right, no matter what condition you're in, all right, as long as you're not in that that weird but for the most part, and I've seen it, man. With the so-called black woman, she hates a strong black, independent man so much that she's creating pansies, man. Effeminate. Okay, here's a breakdown of the slang meaning of pansy. Effeminate or weak man. This is one of the most common slang uses of the word. It implies that a man is not conforming to traditional masculine stereotypes, all right, and is seen as delicate or weak, all right. And so going back to the scripture, all right, talking about the Israelite woman, what? Deuteronomy 28. What device was I using? Okay. And 56, the tender and delicate woman among you. So now she's creating tender and delicate men, okay, which are pansies. All right, they don't talk, they don't say anything that she may be offended at, okay. If she's treating them wrong, they, oh man, I'm take it like a man, happy wife, happy life. No, man, no. You're not being masculine when you do that. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Okay? This is what we're seeing. Her eye, here it is, she won't even put her foot on the ground. Okay? This is how delicate she is, all right? That she won't even put her foot on the ground. She's not doing any work, in other words, all right? She's not conducting any business, all right? So that means that you, okay, you got these podcasters that are saying that, oh man, you gotta, I do 100% for my woman. You gotta, you doing 50-50, you a lame-o, you a this, you a that. No, okay? It's supposed to be 50-50. Or even she's supposed to be doing more to win your love, man. You're the prize, all right? But see, you've been taught since the plantation. See, on the plantation, you couldn't have a role of I'm missing the word. You couldn't have any kind of masculinity, any kind of confidence. All right, you couldn't have any confidence on the plantation, and that's what the so-called white man and the so-called black woman are continuing in that tradition, and it through Christianity, and especially in the South, man, especially in the South. Now Chicago, yeah, you got a culture where a lot of these individuals, they are a DL, all right? They're down low, all right? But the women know that these men are down low. I worked at a club, okay? I always tell this story. I worked at a club. I was the doorman at a club, and one night was the pansy night, all right? One night was pansy night, and, you had these pansies, and, hey, these pansies had baby mothers, okay? And they were there with other pansies, okay? It was disgusting, okay? But these women know, because that's what they want to be with, you see? Because they don't want to do shit, okay? They don't want to do nothing. When let me see real quick. 1 second. I want to be. Made me think of something. All right. When Jacob, all right. When Jacob saw Rachel, okay, she was working, man. This is Genesis 29:10. It says, and it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. Okay, so she was out working with the sheep. She was in the field. That Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Okay, so it was a 50-50 deal there. Okay, and ultimately, once it was established that she would be his woman, because hey, once it was established that she would be his, he took it upon himself. Okay, and that's not the scripture, but he began working. Okay, and he ended up working for a number of years. All right, you know how the story goes. Laban tricked him. All right. But let's go back to this. Man, time flies, man. So I haven't even played any of this video. Okay. Fair use for this video. It's already at 42 minutes. But let's look at some of the comments. See, Trina George says, this is why women should keep your standards high and not deal with the likes of Trick. And we know how Trick is in Miami. He's full of it. All right. When women want more than they have to offer, and only thing that these women offer is box. Okay, and guess what? Everybody's had that box. So you're gonna get, if that's all you want, you might as well save you up a couple of thousand, jump on a plane, get your passport, and go get you a wife and bring her back. But see, you're gonna do what you see these nasty boys do, these DL men in the industry, as they're passing women around. Okay? That's nastiness, man. The people who are doing that, see, they have fantasies, like Alizé. Okay, Alizé, who fantasized about his wife being being did in by an Edomite, to get him off. Man, Jake, they're weird, man. Puff Daddy, okay, with Cassie, man, they were bringing in people, okay, and he was sitting and watching that take place, man. So Jake, you got men that are weird, and they won't say anything. And see, women, they look at the men who are not saying nothing, and they're saying, oh yeah, this is the man, this is the man for me. Okay, he's not gonna say anything about the way that I behave, because I'm being myself. He accepts me for who I am. Okay, and you'll get Jake, well, I'm fucked up too. Well, we all fucked up. Okay, so the Lord is gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you. Don't worry about it. You'll be on the news, okay, and we'll be, saying good riddance. Here's one, or maybe men should step up, because the amount of crap women deal with and excuse, how lower can we get? Well, I'm not gonna even say that, you damn women are bald-headed as hell, man. I mean, I don't even want to start on it, man. I'm just gonna start about, you know, a lot of you women have high body counts, man. Okay, and that's enough. See, and there's not enough of these of Jake. Okay, because if Jake, Jake just has a low self-esteem because he's been told that he's been ugly. Okay, he's black. Okay, his lips are big or his eyes are big or whatever. Okay, he's been told that and fed that by the so-called black woman and Esau. So Jake has a low self-esteem about himself. He has low confidence. All right. Jake, he runs his mouth, but even him running his mouth, man, a lot of times you don't even have to say a damn word, man. I've actually bagged women and not even said a damn word, man. Okay? She said, of course he would say this. Of course, because high standards would weed all of y'all out. This conversation is dusty. Taking advice from a man named Trick is crazy. And Kevin Samuels is dead. Be fucking for real, okay? You see, they hate this, all right? But see, at the same time, you have men, you have niggas who shouldn't even be opening their mouth on the podcast who are sitting and they're just not saying nothing. They're letting these women say whatever it is that they want. And they're just sitting back laughing like little bitches. All right? Like little bitches, man. Okay, the best interview of relevant information yet. Okay, and it's only 9 minutes. And this is from a year ago. I'm gonna play a song.
You gotta get in that situation first. Yeah, you coming in there, motherfucker, telling me what you ain't gonna go for. You basically saying, I ain't worth it.
No, what I'm saying is it's not necessarily saying.
Cause you signed up for me. We don't call me. Same thing with you. Because the last nigga tricked her, and she thought she had herself something because, like she told her friend, girl, he do everything for my son. He buys school clothes, he get his hair cut. Bitch, he do what he's supposed to do. You don't give a nigga credit for shit that he's supposed to do.
Now Trick is wrong with that one. Okay? Listen, man. Now that's totally up to you, man. Now if you feel that you want to do something for a woman and her child, that's not your seed, man. Okay? Now you're lowering your standards, man. Okay? Your only concern is supposed to be that woman and that box, man. Okay? Now you know, hey, one of my closest, he's my brother, man. Okay, one of my closest friends, man. Okay, now he's still in a fucked up situation, man. But he was dealing with a chick and he married this chick, all right? She had a son, okay? And he called himself, disciplining the girl's son. And the son told his daddy. Okay? And the daddy responded, almost got my homie, he was in a coma, all right? Which ultimately led to his mother passing away because she was, the way that he looked, man, caused her great pain, man. And so his mother passed away and he's still married to this chick, man. Okay, so I think they really did some brain damage on my man, all right? He's still with her and she's cheating. So, man, you niggas is out your minds, man. You niggas is out. Your standards are so low. And you niggas, man, you kind of weird because a lot of you niggas judge other men, man. That's you know, I don't know where that comes from, man. I see men that judge other men. That's momos. That's pansy work there, man. That's pansy work there, man. When, you know, I kind of cringe when I hear females say, "Oh, she look good," you know. But when you hear men saying it, you know, you just gotta walk away and just, you know, kind of like get it out your head, man. That Jake that just said that shit, man. That's weird, man. From my perspective, every man is ugly, man. Okay. In my perspective, man, I don't see and view a man as beautiful. Okay. No, man. Hey, you's a nigga, man. You look like a damn gorilla. Okay. So, you know, that's my take on it. All right. And so Trick is wrong, man. Okay, you don't. Okay, you don't. You know, it's up to you. Shit, you know, she laid down with an individual. Now, you know, no matter what happened to him, you know, that individual should have made provisions for his child. Okay, he should have made provisions for his child. Now, you know. If you're there, okay, and you know you're not gonna be there, and you making a hamburger, and the little child like, oh, you gonna just eat that without me, huh, nigga? You know, fuck you, little boy. But you know, the black woman, she does that. She gets with that kind of man. All right, he'll sit up and make a hamburger and have it the house smelling good, and make him some fries and potato chips and a cup of Kool-Aid. And he'll just walk past, you know, and you know, look at her child like, whatever, little nigga. She don't care. Then she'll come in, "What did you feed my baby?" "Oh, I ain't feed his ass shit." "Well, I get tired of you. You know, hey, bitch, I'm finna leave. Ain't nobody tell you to leave. I just get, you know. Then she come up with a reason for him to stay. Okay, but this, you know, but you, okay, busting your ass, okay, trying to put food on the table, and that's the type of women you niggas is retarded, man. This is retarded, these women. But we know that it's not your fault, man. It's not your fault, man. This is the way that Esau has developed you. All right. These women are full of fucking games, man. And the more undisciplined they are, the more fucking games pop out of their ass, man. They like one of those damn TVs with one of those systems, okay? Just all fucking games all day long. Oh, you like games, huh, nigga? You finna get some games. I need me a strong. That's why they need a strong man. Right? Then they say they need a strong man. Okay? That's what they mean by strong. All right, I gotta end this. So you're doing it all for the woman, all right? You're putting in 100%, and the woman has an evil eye toward you, okay? Still, because she's not content with what you're doing, and she would never be content because there's no competition. It's only one woman. That's why you need multiple women, all right, to keep her ass in check. One woman, you got multiple women, they keep the wild bitch in check. And they let you know what the fuck is going on. All right? It says her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom and toward her son. Okay? So the son is going to be created to be a pansy, and toward her daughter, all right? And the daughter is going to be a mirroring image of her, all right? She's going to be a hoe, okay? So that's all I'm going to read on that. That's all I'm going to do on this lesson. You could go and watch this video, all right? I just thought I'd spotlight this, all right? And it's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. So you Jakes are ending up having, to lower your standards, but you don't see it. Okay? And then a lot of Jakes, they're living off of stereotypes that were created, the Willie Lynch ass stereotypes. And so that, a lot of women get off, they carry those stereotypes. Okay? A lot of these women, hey, they have to wear makeup, man. What makes them look better and good is that, a lot of them, okay, have to wear makeup. The number of so-called black women getting BBLs is ridiculous. Getting breast lifts, all right, lips inject. You never had that. You never had that before. So, you have men that, you have a class of men who that's what they're into, all right? That's what they're into because they were raised as pansies, all right? So, Lord willing, you will edify. Till next time, Shalom.